Hello, Intro to Tech students. This is Miss Moss here, and I just wanted to give you all a couple tips on how to get started working on the flyer for our Microsoft Word project, the real estate flyer. So last week you were supposed to collect and save some good photos that you would like to use on this project. And today I'm going to show you how to actually get started here in Word. It's time to get to work. So the first thing I would recommend that you do is to just do a Google image search for real estate flyer and look at all of these professional examples. What we're doing by just Google image searching here is getting inspiration for the layout of the page and what some really good professional samples look like so that you can get inspiration to recreate these different styles and formats for your project, okay? So if you go through and scroll through, look and see, you'll find something that you like this thing. This looks really cool. I can recreate this whole design in Microsoft Word. Believe it or not, you can do this. I know you can. All right, I'm going to show you kind of how to get started. The first thing I wanted to tell you guys, even though this is a great example, it has this white background. I'd really like you to stay away from anything white in the background of your flyer because it's just the default and we're trying to level up here. All right, so let me show you how this would look in Word. You're going to go into Microsoft Word and start with a blank document. And as it mentioned in the assignment posting, you're going to save as your last name, flyer 21. Right? That's what you're saving this to the cloud, your OneDrive, as last name, flyer 21. Okay, once you have it saved and you're ready to go, another thing that the instructions ask you to do is to change your margins by going into the layout menu and to create custom margins where the top, bottom, left, and right margins are 0.1 inch. Okay, 0.1 inch, like that's barely anything, right? So we are going to change the top, bottom, left, and right all to 0.1. And when you do this and you say okay, your computer may or may not come up with some kind of warning message like this. It says like, that's not going to be printable. Just ignore that message if it does come up. Okay, so you can see here now where my insertion point is on this blank document. It's way up in the corner. I'm going to have access to all of this space on my page. All right, so going back to my inspiration here. It looks like they have a big picture on the top. They've cropped these other pictures into like diamond shapes. They've got a triangle sticking out of the side of the page here and some rectangles and triangles on the bottom. What I'm going to start off doing though first is to change the background color of my entire page. I could do that very easily in my design menu. And in your design menu all the way to the right over here, there's a command called page color. And when you click on page color, you get the color palette and you can pick any color that you want here. Okay, so for me, I'm going to go with this blue as my background color. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is actually just enter or insert these different shapes like this triangle and the rectangles on the bottom. So I'll go to Insert, Shapes, and I'll find the shape that I'm looking for. And what I think I'm actually going to do is kind of draw it and then reshape it or resize it. Oops. And then I twist it around so it could go right over to the side. All right, that kind of looks like that, right? And I'll be able to see here they even put like their headline, like we watched in that video, beautiful home for sale and the price. So I could type that into my shape right away. Okay, so you know that you could type into your shapes. You just have to, I'm having troubles here with my MacBook, kids. So yes, you could start to type in there. The next thing I'm going to do is insert my pictures. So I'm going to go to Insert, go to pictures and find where I saved them. You guys should have hopefully saved them in your OneDrive. I have my 4 pictures that I have here, and none of them are of the front of a house, but I'm going to go with this one as kind of my main big picture. So as I'm inserting these pictures one at a time, I have to use that little rainbow wrap text feature, right? And I want to wrap all of my stuff through and fix position on page. Okay, now what I could do is move it anywhere I want. I think that my laptop is being kind of laggy because I'm recording the screen and doing all this work at the same time here. Okay, so I want to have that there, and then I want to make sure that my triangle is back to the front. So I'm going to click that. All right, and then I think that they even had on the example some kind of little like flag sticking out at the top. So all of these things, guys, are just inserting different shapes and moving and wrapping around pictures. Okay, so I could even just go with the shape that looks kind of like this. And I'll draw it in. And I'm going to change my shape color, the fill. Oops. I want it to be white. And I don't want it to have an outline. Okay, then I could just move things around and resize it. All right, looking good, cool, cool. And I would continue to add all the different pieces. Okay, so when it comes to inserting your text on the actual document, I suggest that you always go to Insert and draw a text box. Okay, there are 2 main text areas that you're going to have to include. One of them being the property description. Okay, when you insert your text box, remember it's going to show up originally as being white with a black outline. Change that to be no fill and no outline. And then you could start typing in. The property description is the minimum 4 sentences where you're going to use all those big adjectives to really talk about your property. So, or the home, and the description of it should be very vivid and make people interested in it. Okay, so this section is the property description. And this needs to be 4 or more sentences. Okay, another part of text that you'll have to include are the property details. Insert again, draw a text box, and your property details are going to be in the form of a bulleted list. Okay, so your bullets are going to go in here. And remember, we talked about the custom bullets, and you probably have a couple saved custom bullets at this point, like the green star or that little arrow with like a circle background that we used last week. Okay, you should, in this section, just give me like little points about your property or about the home. This is not like full sentences, all right? These are just bullets. I'm putting in a default bullet because this is just a sample I'm showing you. But an idea here would be like, in building gym, parking included, because this is a condo. What else? Newly renovated. Stainless steel appliances. Just little quick details in this section. Okay, all right, again, this is the property details bullet list. All right, after that, don't forget that there are a few other things you need to include. You're going to create an original logo like we did last week using the shapes. Okay, so you'll put in at least 3 shapes, and then maybe type in like your last name, real estate, or something to name your company. But you need to make sure that you're really customizing this, okay? And you change the colors of these different shapes that you're using. All right, and maybe I want to include for my second shape, I'll do a little, let's see, like a sun. Draw my sun here. I'm going to change it to be golden sun. Okay, and then I can insert a text box and put my text box drawn right over here and make sure that I get rid of that text box shape fill and outline. No shape fill, no outline. Name it Moss Real Estate. Super fun. Okay, so you're just going to keep going through and adding these things by inserting shapes, inserting pictures, and inserting text boxes and moving them around your page. And hopefully you get close to something that looks like that.